Hello and welcome. A lot of people are interested in our GuideMe to IT program. This is the program designed for people who would like to start IT career in a very structured approach. We do have membership for people who would like to do a self-paced approach, but this is more of a mentored and also guided approach. In this training, of course, we don't have live training, but we do collaboration. We can meet anytime, and then we do meetings. So here we don't have an official live training, which is covered by Testout.com. This is the first lecture that we are sending out to our members. If you're interested in this training, I highly recommend you go over this lecture. This is going to give you a clear idea of how we approach or how we communicate with our members. Later on, we will add more videos to this whole structure, but I think this is a good video for someone who is going to make a decision. Is this training for me? Or should I just go with the self-paced 100% on JobSkillshare website? Thank you. Hello and welcome to GuideMe to IT program. You're watching this video because you have paid for this training. You have went through the details for this training. This first video is going to just break down few things that you will need to get started in this training. The first thing is to, of course, when you're working with any adults, you have to follow some rules. And the rules are about engagement. We want to make sure that everybody is respectful to each other, members or admins. You want to make sure that there are certain things that we have already put in our policies that you are not going to expect. Number one, in this training, there is no live training. And that was something that you have went through the policies and the details. The second one is that the support is one of the main things where a lot of people get confused. So on the left side of this Discord channel, we have put a support channel, and this is where you will be using Testout.com support if you have any issues with Testout labs, content, or anything related to Testout. Of course, you need to come over here and check their timings. We can help you with the basic things. For example, you can't access the Testout site. We can help you with that. But we cannot help you anything that is going to be internally in the Testout.com. Our admins will not be able to help. You will have to contact the support for them to help you out. If you are not getting a response or anything like that, then of course you can let us know. We can talk to the management. The second thing is that following this program step by step is very crucial. So you're going to have to follow my videos very carefully and with patience. If you skip, let's say I'm making this video right now and you skip things and tomorrow you say that I'm having some issues because you haven't went through the video, then of course I'm going to keep telling you that you should watch the video. Because that is one of the main key of this program, is that we want to bring you back to being focused and being patient, because a lot of people take this program because they don't have a structured approach. Here we are teaching you a structured approach where you are being taught to be patient when you are dealing with technology. Secondly, you're actually working in this program. So the whole focus should be on this program. You shouldn't be jumping into something else. Because you know you have a lot of access, then yes, you're taking that risk of going outside of this program, which is totally on your own way of learning, but we expect you to be totally focused on this program. And that is the only way you can actually achieve a full benefit from this program. The third thing is about reference. We are not going to give a reference to someone who have not finished this program correctly. Yes, you will get a certificate. Yes, you will finish this because you paid for it, but you will not get a reference because you paid for it. Reference comes with your own efforts and you telling us that you have worked for this program, you have done some projects with us, and those type of projects are then being referenced. If somebody calls us, we have to tell them the truth. We cannot lie to them. So if, let's say, for example, there are some issues with communications and let's say your communication was pretty poor with us, we're not going to actually tell the person that this person has a poor communication. We can help you with that. But we will also not tell or lie about your communication skills with somebody else and lie to them that you have a great communication skills. Hire this person. This will hurt our platform. So these are the main rules of this collaboration. and at the end, the reference that we are going to give you because you want to get that job title. That's one of the key of this program. So then I highly recommend that you follow everything with patience and you follow all the details. And if you have any problems, then you should contact us, because that's why we are here then, to kind of retell you or kind of revisit you on certain things and guide you so you can complete this program. So the first program in this training is Testout PC Pro. If you click on the prerequisite, this is the whole detail that you have actually started this training from. You went through this details. But here I have made a screenshot so then you understand that what we are going to cover in the first few months of this program. So here, the first program we are going to cover is CompTIA A+ Core 1 and Core 2. Basically, even though this whole system is designed for certification, but at the same time, it's very hands-on platform, and that's why we like it. So you as a beginner, if you don't have certification, the current certification, yes, after this program, you can actually register for certification and give it a try if you prefer doing that, because you have spent some time to learn these things. So I think it's beneficial, but you don't need to take a stress for this. It's not required, because the way we are training people is that we are teaching you all these skills. So then you go to a job and then you perform pretty good because your basic is very strong. That's the whole goal of this training. So here, the first 1 week to all the way to the 9 week, we are going to focus on PC Pro in Testout.com. That is the prerequisite of the first program. So then, of course, you're going to come to the week 1 and it will have a due date. So if you click on the week 1, again, it's going to just specifically target now week 1, July 5th to July 11th. And if we come down over here, what are you going to cover in Testout.com? You're going to actually cover this screenshot. Every week we will give you a screenshot and a due date. And then, of course, at the due date, which is due Sundays 12 p.m. EST, you must complete all of these that are in the screenshot. This is pretty doable, very flexible, but at the same time, you should make some kind of hours on the side. Make sure you tell your family members that I am going to work this many hours because I need to complete this. I want to do something good for myself. I want to change my career. I want to learn these things. I have to do this. I have to give this time to myself for me to be successful. All right, so now it's time for you to start actual learning. So we have created a link over here for Testout.com. Now you must be wondering, where is the username and password for Testout.com? Now this username and password is given in your email, and if you join the Discord and you're still having issues with accessing this access, then yes, you contact us, and that's where we can help you. Of course, there's a more support available over here, but we can help you before that support because it's an access issue, so we can definitely help you with that. So let's go ahead and let's assume that you have already gotten the email from us, and now you just need to click on it and log into the Testout app. So here's the Testout.com, and you're basically following week 1. We're going to log in over here. You're going to be typing your email address and password that is provided by us in your email. And then you will click on Testout PC Pro. This is the course that you need to be actually taking. Now you may see a little bit different because I'm a trainer access. So here you will see, if you go to my school, it's going to be Job Skills Share. And under that, you will basically pick on Testout PC Pro. So when you click on it, we all will see this same screen right here. So this is where you will start that learning, which is self-paced for that 1 week. So you're going to come over here. This is the kind of like the whole chapters of this environment. So if we go back to our Discord, which is your collaboration area, we have told you that you need to finish 1.0 and 2.0 in that first week. So all you got to do now is to finish 1 and 2, which is your computing overview and PC technician responsibility. So this is a great start over here because everything is kind of like a video, and it tells you what to do in the lab. It actually explains you everything step by step. So you have to make sure this is where when we say we will not provide you support, because this is all done over here. Everything is given to you in a very step-by-step approach. If you were to click on here and there is some issue going on, that's where you then contact the support that we have provided to you in this right here, which you have to go through that then. But other than that, you have to simply finish this whole video, lectures and labs inside. So then when you come back in week 1, and if we want to do some discussions with you in week 1, we may even ask you things, we may even ask you to do some research. That is where the references part comes in play. Okay, that is where we say that this person have done some type of extra stuff, so that's why we are giving this person a title now on the job. And that is where when the day 1 you start with us, you're actually working with us. So that is where the title for the learning internship we give out, which is very powerful, because that's what makes your resume look really, really good. And that's where when people say, I don't have a technical experience, I learn all these skills, but how do I put it? How do I kind of like even show that I have a technical experience background? That's where the game changed for a lot of people, when they put that company name on the resume. And this is where you're doing all that stuff. You're actually working on projects. We use these projects somewhere. We may just give it to someone who's just needing some type of help. We just give them for free. However we want to use that, you're actually providing that effort. So we're giving you that references based on that. So 2 things are very important. You have to come to the test out. You have to be kind of very focused on learning these things. Make sure you give it a lot of time, because the whole week is pretty big and you still have a few hours. It's not going to be always like 8 hours, maybe more than 8 hours sometimes, but you have to give that time, and you have to kind of redo this again and again. If you feel like you have went through the video and you didn't get it, just go over it again, because that's how we learn it. If you feel like that video didn't really help you much, then you can ask over here. We can give you some other resources. Maybe we'll give you some documents, blogs, and we'll tell you how to research when you don't know things, because that's the reality of this learning. You have to be actually on your own to kind of learn these things, because in reality, that's how you learn. You're given a project, you're given something new every time in IT, and it's not like you have to take courses every time for something new. You always go to Google, you always go do research, you always ask people, so then they can give you a hint to go to somewhere so you can get started. That's how it works in IT. This is the reality, and we're teaching this whole training based on reality. So then as soon as you get out of this training, it doesn't look so strange to you when you start working. And then there's going to be those talks around it that you may think, oh man, if it was like my training, that would have been good. But it's not like that. You go to some companies and they will not give you this kind of structure approach to teach you things. So we're also going to tell you on the way that, yeah, you're getting some best quality over here, but that don't expect that at work, because that's not how it is at work. But if you have done this, you would know how to tackle that type of situations. So this is it. This is the first lecture. And what happened after this, when you finish it, our instructors are going to go before Sunday, check your report, and if in the mid-week we feel like you have not started, we're going to send you some alerts that now you're getting to that red zone. Make sure to get started, because you're not going to be able to complete all that in one shot. So we're going to be doing that kind of push around this training. So once you finish it, we will do the same process for week 2, week 3, week 4, till we end this. And at the end, of course, we're going to start career development stuff, working on the resume, mock interviews, and then kind of like seeing where you're applying, and if there are some job opportunities, we're going to help you in a way that, give you tips. We're not going to help you to give you a job, because that's not what we offer over here. So that's all for the first lecture. I wish you all the best, and again, we're going to be here to help you out to complete this whole program. Welcome to the week 1 requirement that you're given to finish in testout.com. Let's talk about it from our mindset. Why did we actually give you this week 1 and week, for you to finish this module 1 and module 2 in Testout? So let's go to Testout, so then we can give you a practical understanding. So of course, at this point, you already know how to access your Testout. You know how to access the scores. You can go and click here to check the modules from one screen. So we have given you the first and second module to finish. Let's talk about the first one. The first one, of course, is going to talk about this product itself. everybody who is going to be starting this should be going through this, because then that's how you're going to do the labs. But in terms of IT learning, you see, hardware is extremely important. You may land a job in a company, and of course, at this point, they know that you know the hardware, right? They know that because they think some study have taught you this stuff. So a lot of people jump into the domain connected environment because, of course, even our own members jump into that and kind of move away from the basics. The problem with a self-paced learning when you're doing this in JSS is that you don't have a capability to do simulation type of hardware. There's no way for someone to actually give you the hardware online, right? You either have to purchase your own hardware, or you have to kind of like get some kind of product that can do this. So here you have a product. So that's why the first lecture, the first module is very important for you to spend some time on it. Because if you were to work in this environment or this career, you always will start with some type of devices, whether it's a laptop, a small laptop, a big desktop, or some kind of, connectors. You will have to do some kind of hardware. Even if it's a online work, you may have to set up a laptop for that online employee and send it to them. Even then, if let's say you even don't have access to it physically, you still need to know these things, because sometimes there's a driver updates for that hardware. So understand that it's very important for you to know the basics of computer setup. So everything like ports, connectors, adapters, internal components, right here, everything is with you. So the videos are going to tell you about these things. And at the end, you're going to basically do the lab where you will set up a computer. So you're an IT administrator for a small corporate network. You just receive a new computer and you need to set them up. And that is a very, very first ticket for any IT help desk or IT support professional. You will get devices and they're going to be unmanaged. And that's where you need to know the basics of hardware. So this lab is going to teach you that. If we go into this lab, everything is given to you. Plug the power strip into the wall. Everything is at the extreme basic level that you may not think of when you're doing a skills learning on Active Directory or just group work group or group policy stuff. So here you have the capability to turn on the machine. The computer failed to turn on. The reason for that is that now you need to understand what is involved with connecting this computer. At this time, you don't understand. Let's say if you are a beginner, you probably don't know too much about all these different things. So that's where you need to watch the videos first, because someone have told you what this means, right? So here we have cables. So one is an AC power cable. So of course, this time you will have to understand, okay, where does this AC power cable go? So from the videos, you have learned this. But of course, in the scenario, you have to actually follow each and every step over here if you're a beginner. Don't try to try to figure things on your own now, because you want to kind of continue what they're actually teaching you. Then later on, you have the full capability to come over here. Okay, I'm going to drop it right here. And then which one do I really need to put on? A connector female, or should I put the male? So of course, the female has to go in here. If I click on it, you see that's where it goes in. If I want to do the male, where do I put the male? I'm going to put it in the outlet. So I'm going to do the first one right here. You see this is the wall outlet, and it tells me that it's connected now. So if I do a front and do the same process, you see the computer is on, but the monitor is not showing output from the computer. And that is where you are actually following some of these steps right here. I know I jumped into this one just to give you an example, but that's what you need to follow in this whole program. Simply, you need to go back and say, okay, I'm going to do this, and come back to the monitors, and you can drop the monitor now here. Is this monitor connected? Right? If I do back, just by looking at that, is this connected? No, it's not. Look, someone can actually test you in interview just on this basics as well, if they want to know who are we hiring over here. And if they give you something like that, and if you're not able to complete this setup, this is a super basic setup, but a super regular setup for any IT professional. It doesn't matter what kind of role you have. If you're not able to understand different type of connectors, if you're not able to understand the basics over here, you won't be able to connect anything in most of the IT jobs. And if you have that kind of performance in the interview, of course, no one's going to hire you, most likely, because this is really hard to teach this type of basics to the people who have so many other things to do. So again, we have the same process over here. You drag and drop and put it right here, and it's going to ask you female, male. So of course female, and then now we need to put the male back into the here. And if I go back and say, okay, turn this on, and it's going to tell me, okay, the computer is on, but the monitor is not showing output from the computer. Now in a real world scenario, of course, this is where your basic skills will play a big role. This could be a very normal scenario. Someone's complaining about monitor not working, right? So now you understood where the basics has to be plugged in, like, you know, cables and everything like that. But then other basics are, is this monitor even turned on? Because this could be a dual monitors and somebody didn't even turn it on. So let's just turn it on. There you go. As soon as you turn it on, this machine is now able to access the operating system of this motherboard and CPU that you are seeing right here. So if I click over here, click on Windows, it takes me to the Windows. I can play around with stuff, because maybe later on in the project it's going to tell you to update the driver of that specific thing that you have done on a hardware level. So that's why I just went through this basics with you, so you understand how to learn this in a real world environment. You have to understand basically kind of like why is this important. The hardware level is very, very important. And that's where then after that, of course, when you get into the Windows basics, you have to learn the Windows basics, the interface, the things like that. Then Linux is okay, something that I wanted to talk about. If you come to this place right here, Linux basics and Mac OS basics, you may come across definitely Mac, because in real world environments, a lot of graphic people use Mac operating systems. So knowing this at the basic level is also very important, because you go to the interview, they may ask you, hey, yeah, we use a lot of Windows, but we do have like 10 people who use Mac. So do you have anything on that? Then at least you can tell them that, yes, in my whole training, I have done actually Mac OS training as well. So I know the basics of it, but I will learn. If there's something more, I'll learn. Okay. In the second module, it's about toolkit and what we use. And then of course, this is about the video, the PC maintenance. It's not just, like I said, computers with desktops and laptops. Most of the times you have to work with UPS systems, because a lot of people now, if they're going for remote jobs, are using UPS, right? Because there are power triggers and things like that. And then make sure that you understand how to access this UPS and how to connect to UPS system. So here you have an installed UPS system. Just like we show you the hardware level on that, it has that capability. Okay, troubleshooting process is extremely important. And in that level, then of course you're now getting into the basics of troubleshooting, the flow. So anytime you have some issue going on, you got to understand some flow. You'll have to have something in your mind that I want to follow this in the beginning. Later on, things become mixed up and you get to understand or build your own troubleshooting procedure, and that's perfectly fine. And that's how we give you module 1 and module 2, and not everything in one shot, because you want to be focused. So here, if you have finished all this stuff, what you will do, you will go back to the overview. You will ask yourself questions based on what you have learned, because you want to convert this now into an interview, right? Ask yourself a question about monitor. If the monitor is not plugged in, what else could you do? Blah, 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 blah. You're going to give that answer based on your learning. If the Windows 10 is having an issue with this specific thing that you have learned, convert that into a question. Every single module, every single thing that you learn over here, you convert that into an interview question. By the end of this whole training, you're going to have hundreds of questions already answered by yourself, because that's how you are going to be very comfortable and a very confident IT professional in the future, because you have done this type of process. So that's how you are going to do it again. If you don't understand it, go back to the video. Go back to read the text. If the video is not helping you, read the text. If that's not helping you, research on the Google. If that's not helping you, maybe ask us. We'll give you some more resources. But try to do it yourself 2-3 times so you can get this. That's why you have this much time. The whole week is given to you, so you can do repeat till it really gets into your head that, okay, that's how it is now. I don't need to learn more about this anymore. So let me move up now. And that's how you're going to finish the first week of this course. Thank you.